Every great achievement began in the mind of one person. It isn't always that easy. When we talk about achieving our dreams, a lot of things come into picture. On this podcast, Mithilesh from Corridor 7 throws some light on his dreams and shows us how one can achieve theirs. Mithilesh is India's first Aeropress champion and a coffee curator. Tune into this podcast and let us know what do you think about it. First of all, congratulations on completing 3 years of Corridor 7 and to the entire team of Corridor 7, which
Thank you.
has
Thank you.
been very beautiful. And you guys have made a huge impact towards the coffee industry in India. And I'm so glad that I got this opportunity to talk to you on this occasion. So thank you so much, first of all, for taking out
My
time for
pleasure.
this.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Totally my pleasure.
Right. So I want to talk about dreams. So like when it started, like 3 years back, what was your dream? Like what was the first dream and how it started?
Uh, so so 3 years back, Corridor 7 started, but the dream actually started way before even I actually had realized. So back in 2015, I took a leap into coffee, quitting my CA life and everything. So in 2015, I took a call that this is what I want to do, but I never had a plan of starting out my own company or anything. But then one thing led to the other. Maybe I was really hungry for more opportunity. I was really eager to get myself ahead of the game and keep pushing myself. So in 2017, then I finally decided after coming back from Australia that my dream is to own a restaurant or maybe a roastery rather, not a restaurant, own a roastery and just keep roasting coffees and be close to it, be connected towards it, keep meeting farmers and all. So that was basically the dream. But that shaping up and then looking back 3 years has been quite a interesting journey, and I'm happy about it. But many of the dreams are really something that you target. Your dreams are
Hmm.
sometimes a target. Sometimes dreams are very subconsciously that you're focusing on. So I would say this is like a conglomerate of both.
Okay, nice.
I knew that like 2015, I took a call that I will be in
Hmm.
coffee any which ways, like come what may.
Right,
I want to be into the specialty coffee, and I could see the opportunity being there, and something more than opportunity. It was, the regular thing that you say that it is my calling. So coffee was my calling, I would say. So I
right.
took a call that this is what I want to do, and then
Hmm.
2017, yeah, of course, the targets were very very open ended. You when you're
Right.
starting out, you don't really know what you're aiming at, but you
Hmm.
have set goals, set rules, set vision.
Hmm.
Yeah, many of them happened much before the time,
Okay.
much before that I expected. Many are taking a little bit more time.
Hmm.
It's an equation and balance of both.
Nice. That's amazing, and it is actually very wonderful to hear it from you. So, like when you have dreams in mind,
Mhm.
obviously there are certain decisions that you need to take, and at times there are certain hard decisions that people need to take. So, how do you take these decisions? What do you think of when taking a critical decision?
Uh, I would say I believe more on my gut rather than and gut and instinct and my values and ethics more as against to how much more money is giving me, which
Hmm.
is giving me more money. So the ethics and the gut feeling is much more powerful for me. So I do take decisions very instinctively based on what my feeling towards that situation is, what my reading towards that situation is, rather than having a matrix of 2 into 2 is 4 and 3 into 3 is 9, so I want 9. So it's not kind of that, it's more instinctive at times. uh, and many times you also go back to your vision board that you had drawn in the beginning, saying that okay, this was my vision. Is this elevating my vision? Is it escalating my, is it speeding up my vision, or is it kind of taking me away from it? So there are a few questions that you basically answer, and then you kind of get an thing that you want to do.
Hmm. So, like, could you share those questions? Like, for example, for anyone who's listening to this podcast who knows or who don't know how to create a
Uh-huh.
vision board, or what questions should they ask themselves
Uh-huh.
while creating the vision board?
Okay, I think vision board is kind of very uh, it's very personal to one, but
Right.
kind of questions that go on that is it should be very, very honest and very, very basic and very, what do you say, targeted. Like couple of questions that I have on my vision board out of the, I don't know, 100 120 questions maybe, is that does this make you get up out of your bed tomorrow? You know, or does this bring you does this make you better than yesterday? Such kind of intangible questions are also the set of questions that you should be having rather than just having a balance sheet or what do you say, an investor perspective,
Yeah.
or having more customers kind of a thing. But these are the things that do get imbibed in your brand gradually.
That's amazing, and it is very insightful, at least for me and people like me
Mhm.
who are actually aiming for big things. But like things happen, things change.
Mhm.
Like before 2020, by the start of 2020, we
Yeah.
said that it was a decade of change. We'll be moving ahead, and everything changed, right?
Yeah.
So
There you go. You got to change.
right. So, for example, I had a life vision. I was moving towards it, and then it asked me to go turn. It asked me to make turns, and uh, obviously, it happened with everyone.
Hmm.
So, how do you deal with it?
Right.
And how do you? So, what is your biggest learnings? Let's say from it.
Yeah. Uh, so I would say one biggest learning, there are a lot of learnings to be honest, like
Mm-hmm.
valuing your family more, valuing the time that you've got on your hand, not taking anything for granted, amongst a lot of other things. What also made me like to think back, it also kind of gave me more confidence about that you got to be very adaptable towards the situation, because this is a very small example for me. Delivering coffee towards to somebody's house was never a beverage was never a plan, because I never wanted to be on the delivery platforms, because for me coffee is not a beverage but an experience that you're giving. Food is not it's not a transaction, it's an experience, so people have to come to your place, you make them comfortable and you make them, but with this situation coming in where the cafes restaurants have been struggling quite a bit, we had to start the deliveries, we didn't have any option, right? But that is where basically adaptability comes. So what I started over here was that we started sending out these small notes, handwritten notes or small personalized notes by every team member, and I was like, write whatever you want to, whatever you want to write, and just make them feel comfortable, make as if like they are at home. And it is not about they purchasing another bottle of coffee, but it is only about when they are sipping a coffee, they've got something to read and they do feel that they are connected to the brand. So that adaptation is something that is very critical, and it just shows that you have to be adapting. You cannot ever say no to something.
Amazing. And I like the approach that you guys send out handwritten notes because it gives a personal touch apart from the product that you guys are giving.
Mm.
Obviously, the quality and quality is amazing. I know about it for sure. But obviously, there's a personal touch
Thank you.
which
Right.
you add towards it. And I think it is one of the like I'll not say move, but I'll say it basically develops a relationship between you and your customers. So I'll move on to the next question. So if you had time machine, would you rather travel
Right.
in future or you'd go back to past and change some things?
Oh man, I would go back in the past and change nothing. I want to
Yeah.
relive those times again where the day that I took a call and told my dad that, look, see, I'm not going to pursue any more coffee, something that I'm going to do. From there till the first mail I'd written to a coffee company, from there where I started working my first day in coffee industry. I remember those. I remember that like every single day, almost every single day. I've got an elephant memory when it comes to those days. So I would use a time machine, go back, but not change anything.
Definitely, definitely. But if I'd ask you if you could expand when you had to talk to your
Okay.
dad, because this topic happens with almost every
Hmm.
youngster, where they have to like talk to their parents about taking a leap
Yeah.
of faith and like doing what they love. So how did you do it? And
Mm.
something that you'd advise?
Yeah. Look, first of all, you need to be very honest with yourself. Very, very honest with yourself. And how would you know that you're being honest to yourself is when you are telling to your who it could be anybody, it could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be your elder brother, or anybody who you look up to, and you feel that you have to tell him or her that okay, I am taking this step now,
Mm-hmm.
so before that you have to be very honest with yourself, because you should be in a situation where you're not basically trying to argue with them, neither are you ready to listen to their no. That gut feeling is so strong that look, I am
Mm-hmm.
doing it now. If
Right.
there is a problem, that is your problem, I'll solve it. you know so you have to be very
Mm-hmm.
close to yourself about that, and then go, because I remember that day clearly, 17th of July 2015, 2000 yeah 2015, where I basically went up to my dad's room, and I was like, look, I need to talk to you. And I was like, yeah, tell me what happened. So I told him, like, look, that's it, this is it, and I am not going to pursue CA anymore because I'm not made for it. I don't get up in the morning excited to study or excited to carry a balance sheet and talk to a client. And all. I'm not excited about it, even if it's never about the money, to be honest. But that's it. And and something that I really like is coffee. Believe me, back then I had no clue what coffee would be like, how
Mm-hmm.
to make a career in coffee or how to establish yourself in coffee. But that time my gut feeling was so strong, and I was like, I knew it. So in fact, even my dad knew it, that okay, now he's not going to listen because he's coming out of very strong reason.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that asked me was, that's okay, quit CA, but what are you going to do in coffee now? And I had no plans because I did not have any mentor. I had no idea whom to ask, what to talk, all these things. So that's why, like the earlier question that you asked, that
Mm-hmm.
if you get a time machine and go back and change something, I would honestly not change anything. I want to go back and past, but not change anything. So yeah, so when you talk to your parents or when you're taking a decision, I think you need to be very, very sure about this thing, that you're not being a rebel. Neither are you trying to please anybody, but it is about what you are. This is what I am. This is what I want to do. That's
Mm-hmm.
about it. It's one life to live. That's it.
That's amazing. It's that's amazing. Nice. So the next question is, what
Yeah.
is the one thing you cannot live without?
Oh wow. There's so many things. Yeah. There's so many things.
Right.
Uh, my family, of course, my team,
Mm-hmm.
coffee, my puppy. There are a lot of things. Yeah. A lot of things. Sorry.
No problem. Definitely. So for all the listeners, Mithilesh has a very interesting TEDx video on YouTube. So you can obviously go and check it out. And I'll be linking the link in the description. But towards the end of the video, he said, well, you make a pour over. That's the time you think about life. So what do you think about life during, like, whenever you make a pour
Yep.
over?
So interestingly, whenever I do that, whenever I have a workshop, be it in any city or anywhere, I always say that statement that this is the time when you think about life. And believe me, everybody cracks up on that. Like everybody is like,
Right.
"Oh wow." But like the reason behind it is because whenever you start getting making your coffee in the morning, uh, like imagine you get up in the morning. These days, all we do is pick up a phone,
Mm-hmm.
pick up the stupid box, and keep looking at something which is not even going to add value in your life by any means. And morning time, your energies are so super beautiful and so crucial that you gotta channelize that. But when you pick up your phone, you're just done. You're just giving it out. You're giving your time to somebody who
Right.
doesn't even know you're giving your time to.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get up in the morning, you grind your coffee, you make your coffee, and you just standing over there and just making that, pouring that water, that whole thing is so calming and so, what do you say? Uh, I'm not getting that word. Yeah, it is very
Um,
therapeutic.
Therapeutic, right?
I guess that's the word.
Mm-hmm.
Therapeutic is a word. Yeah, it's almost like a therapy. So that is the time when basically you're pouring water and you think about life.
It's like meditative, I can say, where you focus on only, like, if you're
Oh,
not going anywhere else, and the 1.5 minute, like maybe 1 hour, 1.5 minutes
yeah.
or 2 minutes when you make a pour over. it's the best part of the day. Like, so that's
Yeah,
amazing.
you dedicated yourself towards you.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So in terms of gaining knowledge, or like in terms of moving towards
Mhm.
your dream, what are the things that you should take on with you? So, for example, if I'd say if I want, I should have a good team where I can rely on them. So, what are the three
Mhm.
things that you take on with you?
Yeah. Okay. It's a very vast question, but
Hmm.
one for sure is believing in yourself and in understanding that the dream started from your mind,
Right.
not by depending on to somebody else or something else,
Hmm.
but also appreciating the fact that when somebody comes along, hops onto your dream, it also transitions into their mind space. So you need to have that energy space to be really, really strong and vibrant and clear, crystal clear, so that it just booms.
Right.
You can go. You can go faster with that, you can go longer, you can go bolder with that, so these are the things which are very, very critical for you when you start building a team, that you need to
Hmm.
find out what an individual's what do you say strength is, and most importantly what that person's weakness is. Because if
Hmm.
you know the strength and if you're still allocating something which is that person's weakness, it does not really make sense. At the same time, you got to give him liberty, and or her rather, him and her, given the liberty of and the confidence that you can overcome your fear. So having like that kind of thing is very important, because at the end of say 15 years, when
Hmm.
maybe I'm out of coffee completely, I want to sit with everybody whom I've worked with and who's worked with me in coffee, and then have some beers. That
Hmm.
is very important. So looking from that perspective, you need to like focus on that. I don't know if I've answered the question. I'm really
You
sorry.
have. No, you have. And so the philosophy, or I can say the
I,
tips, basically they do make justice to what you had said. So those were, so one last question that I have is, what would you advise your 10 years younger self?
yeah. Oh man, the same thing that I'll advise today: that enjoy more, enjoy the
Mm-hmm.
time that you've got. Just bloody enjoy it as much as possible. And I tend to enjoy in the most toughest times somehow.
Mm-hmm.
In the most what do you say? That's what how I work. I don't know why, but I love the tough times. I love the difficult stuff happening around, and I don't like stagnancy by any means. So I'll teach my 10 years younger that sometimes being stagnant and constant
Mm-hmm.
is another achievement which you should be also aiming for at times. So rather than like just keeping on the roll, try to be really energetic, try to be really happy about whatever is being thrown at you, be it boring, be it interesting. But I think that's what I will definitely tell.
That's amazing. That's very interesting as well. So, by ending the
Right.
podcast, I have the famous five. So these are one sentence questions
Mhm.
basically, and you have to fill in the blanks. Okay, you have to complete the sentence. So I'll just say a part of the sentence, and you
Okay.
have to finish it.
Wow.
My favorite coffee.
Mhm. Morning coffee.
Okay. Failure is
Failure is wow. Has it to be a rapid fire, or
no,
can
no,
I
no,
think
not
for
rapid
a
fire. It
second?
could be a sentence. It could be as long as you want.
All right, great. All right, great. Failure is the starting zone for many people, an excuse for many people as well. By excuse, I mean that like nowadays I've seen a lot that I'm failing, but I'm that phrase of either either you learn or you succeed.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's nothing called failure. I don't really believe in that because you cannot keep having an excuse of not giving 100% and just relying on the fact that okay, if you fail you're going to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm able to put it rightly, but I've seen that a lot of times happening, that you got to give it your best, that's about it. And if you then fail, that's a different thing altogether, of course, but then don't try to make your 99% as an excuse that you failed and now I'm going to learn. That's not how it works.
Wonderful. Nice. My life purpose is.
to adopt around, I don't know how many puppies on the street and make a dog farm for them.
This is so amazing. Nice. My favorite quote.
Dreams don't see what address they come from.
Nice. And I think I had seen the t-shirts on
That's
your
also the
website.
tagline for Corridor 7.
Definitely.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
can.
I truly believe in that. I truly believe in that.
Nice. So the last one is, if you had to create one law that everyone had to follow, what law it would be?
Hmm? Everybody drinks coffee in the morning.
Nice. It was such an insightful session, and I know your approach towards life is something that many people should learn from you. At least I am learning from it, so I know that a lot of people like me are learning from you. And with this podcast, the main aim of me is like maybe to take this conversation digital, and maybe as many people could benefit from this podcast. So that's about it. And thank you
Hmm.
so much for taking
Great.
out time and being here. I'll
That's great.
link all your accounts in the description. Your
My
personal
pleasure.
accounts, Corridor 7's accounts and website.
Sure, man.
Also, do check out Corridor 7's coffee because they are amazing, and I know it for sure.
Wow. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. You're doing
Thank you.
great stuff. This is amazing. Lot of people will need to know about all these things. What you're doing. Amazing
Thank you.
stuff.
Thank you so much.